I'm sitting in a beautiful multi-coat metallic red loaner, and why? Well, I had some door handle issues on mine, but this made me remember what I miss about my old MS-60. Specifically, I liked the interior panels on the doors a little better, and I miss the old style dash display, but I have autopilot now. Anyways, the purpose of this video is why can't the classic cars have indefinite hill hold, or infinite hill hold like the autopilot cars do? Well, one of the last firmware revisions for the classic cars on 6X firmware, and I did a few tests on my old car showing this, enabled a hill hold function that would work. It would last about 1 to 2 seconds, enough where if you didn't have creep or something, it'd hold to let you get your foot off the brake, move it to the accelerator if you were stopped on a hill for some reason without having to worry about rolling backwards. But no matter what, it would only last a few seconds. And the reason for this is before the switch to autopilot, which the autopilot cars use an electronic brake, whereas or electronically actuated braking system, whereas the older cars, the older classic or non-autopilot Model S cars used a actual brake booster and a vacuum pump, which was I just blanked out there for a second there, but the difference is with the electronically actuated pump, it can continue on indefinitely. The reason it does not hold very long on the classic Model S's with the vacuum pump is because that vacuum canister can only hold, well, only be void of air for so long, and the vacuum pump can only keep up so much. Now, it has no problems keeping up for the actual slamming on the brake or, hitting the brake to bring you to emergency stops or regular stop and go driving. In fact, can you guys hear that? That's why I'm using the lapel microphone. I hope you guys could hear that, because that's going to be part of my demonstration. That was the vacuum pump running, and that's a noise you will no longer hear in the new autopilot-enabled cars, Autopilot 1.0 and newer. So, here's what we're going to do. We're going to put it in the car in reverse. Now, my driveway's slanted down. As you can see, I'm in reverse, but we're rolling forward. So we're going to roll it back a little bit to the driveway. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put the microphone down below, and I'm going to press the brake real hard, get the hill hold to activate, and I'm going to release my foot. Now, the hill hold will only hold until the pump can no longer maintain enough vacuum to keep the brakes applied. At that point is when the car starts rolling. Now, you can make this last a little longer by having creep mode enabled. Creep mode will always provide a little bit of extra push from the motors in whatever direction, either forward or reverse, and that will make hill hold on the classic cars last maybe another second or two longer, or even indefinitely if it's a very, very mild slope. But for purposes of this demonstration, creep mode is not on. So I'm gonna put it down. Okay, pressing the brake now. And moved. Do over. At the point where you hear the that of the brakes, that's as the pads start releasing from the rotors. So back up, put the parking brake on. Oh my God, it's hot. So that's as the pads, the brake booster just starts losing its pressure and starts releasing. The brake pads start releasing, allowing the car then to roll again. Tesla came up with a pretty neat one to be able to give the classic cars that feature, which was not originally intended. So be glad you got that. glad you got a Tesla at all. And I'd say that's a pretty nice feature that they were able to get on there, and it was so well received. Of course, they added that into the autopilot cars, which can now have indefinite hold, which is kind of awesome. Although if you're planning on being on a hill for quite a long time, just put that sucker into park. All right, see you guys later.